Hello everyone. This video brings us to the last thing that we're going to add to your notebooks and will be the last video that we will do together. So we're going to bring this all together: genetics, meiosis, and fertilization. So in your notes earlier, we had a female, and the female was listed as a heterozygote, big R, little r. So then we said, all right, inside of that female then, she carries two chromosomes that she received from her biological parents. And one chromosome carries the big R, the dominant, and the other chromosome carries the recessive R. And then when we did our drawings, this happened to be, I chose number 12. It's just arbitrary. Fine. And then we diagrammed meiosis. So I'm going to dramatically simplify that. We're not going to redraw that again. That's crazy, right? So this is meiosis. We're just going to draw it as a single arrow. So you know that in here is meiosis 1, meiosis 2, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. It actually happens twice. Fine, but we're not going to draw that back out. The whole point is the product. She produces a gamete, a germ cell, a sex cell called an ova. And it contains one of her two chromosomes. In this example, a chromosome that either carries a dominant R or a recessive R. Cool. But then why? What's the point? I always want you to ask why. Why are we learning this? Why is this important? Why do we need to know this? I always want you to think that, okay? Well, if she decides to reproduce, here is her ova, here is her haploid ovum, excuse me, not ova, ovum, excuse me. And, let's say that she passes on the dominant, like such. Here is the gamete of the individual that she reproduces with. Again, the size is not accurate. Okay, I can't draw the sperm small enough to fit the chromosome on the inside. So go with me here. And he contributes the lowercase r, just for example, all right? He inseminates her. The sperm and the ovum join to form a cell that we call a zygote. That zygote would then have two copies of number 12, one with the uppercase R and one with the lowercase r. Now earlier I color coordinated these, so I'm going to pick different colors this time, okay? So let's say that this is her chromosome here. So that means that here's their offspring, here's their child, right? And that child will say, I received my dominant R from my biological mother. And that child could then say, I received my recessive R from my biological father. See, we carry all of our chromosomes in pairs. These are called homologous pairs. And where do these homologous pairs come from? We receive them from our biological parents. One from the biological father, one from the biological mother. So that way we have a homologous pair, okay? This cell then that is formed has a full set of chromosomes. Thus it is referred to as diploid. Whereas since these only have a half set, these are haploid. Like such, okay? This single cell then goes through mitosis and becomes a cluster of cells called a blastula. We'll talk about this in IB. So this step here, this is fertilization. This growth here into a structure called a blastula, you don't have to know that now, but I will label it just the same. That is mitosis. Until you literally have trillions and trillions and trillions of cycles of mitosis until you get their offspring. So this is more mitosis here. And what does this individual carry? This individual carries two copies of number 12. He received the dominant R from his biological mother, while he received the recessive R from his his biological mother, like such. Well, he then goes through puberty. Puberty is the process that converts a child that cannot sexually reproduce into an adult that can sexually reproduce. That's what puberty is, right? And then when he goes through puberty, he will start going through meiosis himself. And the cycle now starts all over, because won't he take these homologous chromosomes? When he produces his gametes, since he is a male, he will produce sperm. And won't he then pass on the same chromosomes he received to his biological children? So he will pass on the same chromosome that he received from his biological mother, he can now pass on to his biological child. Or maybe the chromosome that he received from his biological father, he'll pass that on to his biological child. See, this whole idea that I gave M my chromosomes, that's not the way it works at all, okay? I gave Emily the chromosomes that I received from my biological parents. Where did they get their chromosomes? From their biological parents. All we are doing is passing on the DNA from the generations before us. This whole idea that it's my DNA, I don't really agree. We are passing on the chromosomes and the DNA that we received from the generations before us. And so that's the relationship between genetics with all those R's, the dominant R's and the recessive R's that we drew in all those Punnett squares, right? Those are carried on chromosomes that are passed from generation to generation in this cycle of mitosis, meiosis, and then ready? Fertilization rejoins, and then mitosis, meiosis, and then fertilization. Hey, what do you know? Biology, another cycle. So this concludes your Cornell notes. If you could take pictures of your notes, that'll be our last assignment for the gradebook, and convert those into PDFs. Well, actually, no, one PDF, but it will be multiple pages, and then post that to our shared folder. That would be wonderful. Thank you.